Hi everyone, this is how to set up your mini ecosystem. If I go too fast or you get confused, make sure you pause, rewind, and rewatch. These steps need to be completed in order, so make sure you're following along. Okay, let's make sure we have all of our needed supplies. First of all, you should have your two clear 2-liter bottles. If you haven't already taken off the label and rinsed them out, pause the video and do that now. Make sure you can see no pop at the bottom. These have got to be completely rinsed out and the label off. So find just a little bit of the label still on there. Now from the kit you picked up from West, you should have a bag of rocks, a bag of soil, this bag with a screen and rubber band and some seeds, and your fish. There also should be some aquatic plants in your bag. I don't have those today, but that's okay. From home, you'll need a pair of scissors. The sharper, the better. And if you have clear packing tape, go ahead and grab it. If you don't, I'll show you a quick workaround, but make sure you have those things. I went ahead and cleared everything off the table, and I just have my bottles and my scissors. So the first thing we have to do is cut our bottles. So choose a bottle, and this can be kind of difficult, and I want you to be very careful. We need to puncture a hole, and don't go much more than, a couple of inches from the top of your bottle. You can't cut off too much of this bottle or it'll kind of mess up your ecosystem. The best thing to do is open your scissors, lay your bottle on the side, make sure this hand is nice and clear and far away, and you're holding your scissors like this, make sure your hand is nowhere near the point, and just apply pressure until you break through, okay? Once you do that, you can go ahead and cut all around your bottle. And I'm just kind of cutting in as straight of a line as possible. It's not gonna be perfect, and that's okay. I'm also crushing my bottle, that's okay. I'll get that back. I'm just cutting around. I hope you have better scissors than I do. These are tiny, that's okay. And we're there. Okay, this can be recycled, so go ahead and put that in your recycling bin. I'm just gonna put my hand in here and uncrunch my bottle. And this is what I will from now on call my aquatic bottle. So the no top will be my aquatic bottle. The next bottle, I'm gonna cut the bottom off. So I cut the top of this one. I'm gonna cut the bottom off of this one. Same idea, lay it on the side, make sure your hands are in a safe position. I always cut with this seam. I'm not sure if you can see it in the video, but you can see a seam right here. It's kind of the weakest point of the bottle, so it's usually pretty easy for me to get my scissors in there. I made that nice little slit. I'm gonna go ahead and cut along that seam, and that seam gives me a nice line, so I always try to do it there. If your bottle doesn't have a seam, that's okay. Just cut it so you're just a couple inches down. Okay, do not throw this away. We're gonna need this, so we're just gonna keep this right here because we need that. And now we have our terrestrial portion. Okay, you did get this bag within your supplies. Go ahead and open that up, and we need the net and only one of the rubber bands. You might have two in there, it just depends. This is important that you do this step correctly, otherwise your whole aquatic system can get messed up. So I've got the rubber band around my fingers. I take the net and I wrap it securely along the top part of the bottle. And I'm just gonna rubber band it so that the entire opening of that bottle is covered with netting. And you gotta get that rubber band nice and tight, okay? So now I know there's no way this is gonna allow anything to come out, okay? I'm gonna set this down. You also, in your kit, got a bag of rocks, and we're gonna divide these rocks between both bottles. So, and there's no precision here. You just get to kind of decide. Put a little handful in here. I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna put 2 handfuls in there. And then I'm going to drop the rest into this bottle. You'll know now if your net's not securely added because the rocks will push right through, and that's not good. Okay. Now I'm just gonna focus on my bottom aquatic bottle. We gave you a bag with some fish and snails. Make sure to use this water because this is pond water, and that pond water has bacteria in it. And that bacteria is gonna help break down the fish waste and recycle it. So it's important that you include this water. So all you need to do is simply open your bag and carefully pour in the contents. The snails might not go, so you might need to stick your finger in there and get your snails in there. Okay, did I get both my fish in? I think I did. All right, so now you have some decisions to make. Do you have too much water? If you do, go get a cup and scoop some of your water out. If you have too little, then add some water in from your sink. We did put dechlorinator in there, so they should be fine. I recommend right now taking your terrestrial bottle and seeing where your water line is. My terrestrial bottle is actually touching my water line, and that's not good. So I need to go ahead and scoop some water out, because what will happen is soil can then come in through here and it will kill the fish. So you really do want your water line to be below where your terrestrial bottle will. You do not want this part of the terrestrial bottle touching the water. So I'm gonna go ahead and scoop a little water out here. See if I can do this without making a total mess. So now I've scooped out enough water they're not touching. Now, if you want to try it so that your top bottle is in your water, you can feel free to do that. Maybe it would help the terrestrial plants get a little bit more water. I would just make sure then that you have enough rocks to really hold your soil away from the bottom, because you don't want the soil going down into the fish. Okay, I don't have any aquatic plants with me, but you would want to add the aquatic plants that we gave you in our kit. I'll just pretend this is an aquatic plant. You'll just set them in and then make sure your snails are in here as well. And your aquatic bottle is now built. All right, let's do a quick check with our aquatic bottle and then we're moving on. I have my water, my rocks, my fish, my snails, and my plant all in this bottle. If you have all that, you're ready to move to your terrestrial. There's my terrestrial bottle. I already have my screen and rubber band and my rocks. I'm gonna set that into my aquatic bottle. Now, if you have packing tape, this is a great time to tape. If you don't, then your bottle will balance. You just need to be very careful whenever you're manipulating or moving your bottle that you're holding both the upper and lower bottles, okay? But it can balance like this if you're careful. If you want to get the tape later and then tape it, that's also totally fine too. This step does not need to be done right now. But if you have the tape, it's very simple. I'm just simply putting it right at that seam where my top bottle, my bottom bottle meet, and then I'm turning it so that I have just one nice round of tape. If you want to be super secure, you can do 2 rounds, but you don't really need to. Okay. Now we're going to add our soil. So again, this is kind of a decision you have to make. By no means do you need to add all of this. You can decide how much soil you want to put in and think it through. Why would you want a lot of soil? Why wouldn't you? That's up to you. This is your mini ecosystem. So I'm pouring in my soil and I'm just kind of eyeballing it. I'm like, you know, I think that's good. I don't need any more soil than that. So I didn't even use all my soil. I'm just going to level it out. All right. Also in this bag with the screen, you have radish seeds and they came in this container. So let's open this guy up. I can move my soil. I'm all done with my soil. Don't throw that away though. Go add it to a garden. That's good soil. Okay, here are my radish seeds. And again, you have a decision to make. How many of these do you want to add in? I'm gonna go big. I'm gonna add them all in. And I would make sure you sprinkle them so that they don't end up in one place. You want them growing throughout your ecosystem, not just like in the center. So see how I'm just kind of carefully dropping my seeds in so they're everywhere. I'm getting impatient, so I would take a little more time. Okay, and then I cover my seeds. You don't have to, I like to. If you're gonna add water, make sure it's a very, very little bit. I'm talking drops, because if you add too much, it's gonna pour down into your aquatic and it's gonna kill your fish. So I'm just adding a few drops of water there. Now you've planted your radish seeds, you have more choices to make. You can head outside, and if you want, you can find some leaves or twigs or sticks to add in here. You don't have to, but you can if you want to. You can also add insects, but there's a few things that you should avoid. No flying insects. You don't want too large of insects. So crickets are great if you could possibly catch them. Ants are something you could easily find and catch. Pill bugs, all those could be added in here. If you find an earthworm, you could even add that in as well. All these are optional. Whatever you want to do, this is your mini ecosystem. Whatever plants or insects you would like to add is totally up to you. Okay, now we have to close the mini ecosystem. This is our final step. So once we close this, it cannot be opened again. So I'm going to take my top and I'm going to set it in my mini ecosystem. And again, this is where you'll need your tape. So if you have the tape, you may use it. If not, you can just kind of press this down. I have a nice seal here. And again, when you lift it to look at it, you'll just want to make sure you're supporting both bottles if you haven't taped it. But if you do have the tape, you just want to tape where the top meets the bottom all the way around. And then I fold my tape down. My mini ecosystem is just a little bit more secure. So that's how you complete your mini ecosystem. It's going to make a lot of changes over the next couple of days. It's very exciting to watch. And you've closed it, so I hope you've included enough abiotic factors to support those biotic factors.